Discovering that one's having an affair can be a devastating experience. In this video, Dr. Jordan Peterson explores the complexity of the situation and offers advice on how to move forward. Dr. Peterson also highlights the importance of trust in relationships and the catastrophic nature of betrayal.
Wreaking havoc with the ideologies? Yeah? Is that what you're doing?
Enticing people out of them.
I see. Okay, here's one. This week I discovered my wife was having an affair. I still love her despite the betrayal. How do I navigate this? That's an easy one, huh?
So if you came to me and as a client, say, of my clinical practice, I would help you take that question apart. This week I discovered that my wife was having an affair. Did you discover that this week? Or were there clues and hints for a very long period of time? And I'm not suggesting that that's the case, by the way, to this particular individual. I don't know anything about the person who asked this question, and so I would also ask whoever that is not to presume that I'm speaking directly to their concerns, because I don't know that person well enough to do that. I have to provide something approximating a generic answer. In order for that to be rectified, you need to know what exactly happened here. What's the significance of this event? And that's one vicious question. Now, the person asking the question also leaps to an immediate conclusion. So there's a big problem here. My wife had an affair, question mark. What's going on? But then they provide an answer. I still love her, and what's the next part of it exactly?
Wants to know how to navigate it.
Right, so the answer is I still love her, and I need to know how to navigate forward. I'm not so convinced of that, by the way. Are you not angry? Are you not upset, frustrated, disappointed, anxious, hurt, betrayed, traumatized? Or is there a part of you who now knows the relationship is over, and because it wasn't a very good relationship, you're thrilled because now you have the right to engage in the same sort of devious pathway to hypothetical freedom that your wife took? Because that can certainly be the case. When a bomb like that goes off in the midst of your life, everything is up for grabs. And so to immediately say, I still love her, yeah, maybe and maybe not. And if that's all you feel, then that in itself is definitely a problem, and also might be key to why it happened to begin with, because you appear to be the sort of person who can be stomped on pretty damn hard and not object. And like I said to the person who asked this question, I am not talking about you. I don't know anything about you, and I'm not presuming. I'm just laying out the potential landscape. What other problems do you have? How long have you been married? Is the whole damn thing a lie? Is every relationship you've ever had a lie? Are you a complete doormat? Are you blind beyond capacity? Have you married someone who's psychopathic or narcissistic? Do you have a pattern of associating with people like that? Those are all questions that are going to plague and should plague you in some real sense when something like that happens. So the first issue is what the hell happened? And man, that can take 1,000 hours that should have been spent in discussion with your wife before this happened, trying to get to the bottom of it. People are often traumatized by that kind of revelation, and the reason they're traumatized is because imagine you have a committed relationship with someone, so you might ask, what is the basis of the commitment? And there's a hierarchy of commitment in that some commitments are more fundamentally important than others, and those are the commitments upon which all other commitments rely. And so when you set up a household with someone and you move towards permanent intimate relationship and hypothetically in the direction of, let's say, having dependent children, then you're doing all that based on the presupposition that the person is faithful to you, because that's one of the defining attributes of the relationship itself. And so when that axiomatic presupposition is shattered, then everything dependent on that is now questionable. And that not only includes the present, what the hell is going on now, the future, what are we going to do, who am I with anyways, but also the past itself, because you were living, let's say, in something approximating a fool's paradise, and nothing that you thought to be the case was in fact the case. And so that's a dreadful problem. And how you cobble something like that back together is a very difficult problem. I would say the first thing you do is open yourself up to the admission of the magnitude of the problem. What's the problem? Who am I, anyways, that this happened to me? Who are other human beings that they could do this to each other? So those are fundamental questions about the nature of social relationships themselves, or even about individual identity. Very unsettling questions. Someone I loved has the capacity for that magnitude of betrayal. That's a dreadful realization, not least in part because it also implies to some degree that you also have the same capacity. Dante wrote a book, The Inferno, and the Inferno, it's from the Inferno that we derive many of our ideas about hell, our poetic, imaginative representation of the domain of the underworld domain of darkness and catastrophe. And at the bottom of hell, Dante put Satan himself, but one rung above that, he put those who betray. And betrayal is the inversion of trust, right? You can't betray me unless I've trusted you. And trust is the precondition for all social relations. And so to betray someone who deeply trusts you is to demolish the foundation of relationship itself. And so that's why Dante placed it way deep down in the substructure of hell. And so when betrayal occurs, then you're faced with all those problems.
Now, Dante's The Divine Comedy explores the themes of trust, betrayal, and justice through the depiction of hell. In the Inferno, the first part of the trilogy, Dante describes the punishment that sinners receive for their transgressions. Now, trust is it's a central theme in Inferno, as many of the souls in hell have betrayed someone's trust. Dante suggests that those who break trust will face severe punishments in the afterlife, emphasizing the importance of upholding one's moral obligations and acting with integrity in life. Dr. Peterson delves deep into the complex and emotional turmoil of discovering infidelity in a relationship. With his extensive knowledge and experience, Jordan stresses the crucial importance of fully understanding the situation before taking any further steps. He cautions against hasty assumptions of relying solely on feelings of love for one's partner. Instead, Dr. Peterson encourages individuals to confront difficult questions about themselves, their relationships, and the nature of trust and betrayal. With references to Dante that pack a punch, Dr. Peterson shows just how much infidelity can rock the very foundation of a relationship. In our next video on this intriguing topic, Jordan explores the rocky road to recovery, if that is both possible, both for the individuals and the couple. Stay tuned. Bye for now.